Okay, good morning, everyone. Hope you are all keeping well, and wish you and your families are okay. I hope you've had a lovely weekend with all the snow that's going on. I want to just begin before I hand over to Miss Lord to talk to you about this really important issue of options and picking your GCSEs. I wanted to say just how immensely proud I am of all of you for working so hard. Over the last week or so, we have seen a massive rise in engagement, and you've been engaging more in your live lessons, in your pre-recorded lessons. So a really big well done to all of you. As of today, you will have noticed, and from the communication that was sent out last week, that there will be a slight increase in the number of live lessons, to begin with in maths and in English, and then next week we will add additional live lessons to science. But we do appreciate that it's important to have the balance between pre-recorded and live lessons. So we're always keen to hear your feedback. And as always, if you need any support or you need any help, please do get in touch with us at our helpline address at Beacon Hill Academy. So this morning's assembly is about your options, and it's about the time of year now where we would start talking to you about the GCSE subjects that you can select next year. And you then have the opportunity to go away and reflect on what you'd like to do. There'll be lots of consultation and opportunity for your parents to speak to us. And we'll be having a similar sort of webinar with your parents too. But to explain the whole process in more detail, I'm going to hand you now to Miss Lord, who's going to talk you through that process. And just before I hand over to Miss Lord, can I just make sure that everyone stays on mute? And can I also ask that no one type in anything into the chat forum, because it can be a bit distracting. If you do have any questions as we go along, can I suggest that you just note them down, and then we'll have a question and answer session towards the end of this assembly where we'll be able to answer any of the questions that you have. So please don't put anything in the chat forum. Make sure you stay muted, and I'll hand you now over to Miss Lord. Over to you, Miss Lord.
Mr. Dimer, can you just confirm that you can see the PowerPoint screen?
Yes, I can, loud and clear.
Perfect. So good morning, Year 9. Just to echo what Mr. Dimer said, hope you're all well. This assembly really is just to go through what the options process is going to look for you over the next month, and all the support that we'll be providing you in terms of selecting those right subjects for you to continue studying on at Key Stage 4, so that's in Year 10 and Year 11. Now, I will go through the process and we'll talk about some of the options that are going to be available to you. Obviously, these are quite important choices, and we're really keen for you to get those correct. So a couple of things that I just would like you to consider as we're talking through these are some of the things that you should be thinking about when considering what qualifications you're going to continue to do next year. So the first thing you might want to have a think about is what you might want to do in the future in terms of where you might want to study next, what qualification you might want to do, but also as well what your future career might be. Now, some of you might know that already. You might have a very clear pathway in your mind in terms of what that might look like. And if so, it's really important that when you're selecting your options, you're doing it in line with maybe your next steps and what that vision looks like for you. Some people, however, won't be at that stage and won't really know exactly what it is they might want to do in the future. And that's absolutely okay. If that is you, then have a think about when you're selecting your options, which ones are you doing well in? So which subjects at the moment do you think that you're doing quite well in? And also as well, what interests you, so what are you passionate about? Because if you're doing well in them or you're passionate about the different subjects, then it's likely that you will be really successful. Things that we shouldn't be considering in terms when we're selecting our options is any opinions that we might have of a teacher, whether those are positive or negative, and also as well if your friends are picking it or not. This is a very individual process. It's all about you and setting up your future self for success. So it's really important that that you're not being influenced by anyone in your friendship group. So what to expect in terms of the next month. So today, obviously, this is our virtual assembly, and this is where we're going to be launching the options process. We're then going to organise to have a parents and carers evening where parents and carers will be able to ask any questions that they have, and then we can give them a little bit more information, a little bit like we're doing today for you, to them, so that they can also help you with this process. What we're going to be doing as well over the next couple of weeks, just so that you've got a really good idea in terms of all those different qualifications that are on offer to you, is we're going to be having little subject sales pitches. So what this is going to look like is they're going to be short podcasts which are released to you on a daily basis. So we're not going to have them all at once. It's going to be different ones that are going to be released over the next couple of weeks. And what they are really is little videos which give you a little bit more information about each of the qualifications that we've got on offer, just so that you can make the best decision that you can make in terms of what you're going to pick moving forward. Once you've had the opportunity to see all of those different podcasts from the different subject areas that you can pick, we're then going to issue out a questionnaire for you. Now, this questionnaire is just really to get your initial ideas in terms of what you might be interested in doing, and what that will do is that'll tell us actually how we're going to put options into blocks. And then once the options in the blocks, we're going to have some one-to-one meetings with you, which will be led by a member of our senior leadership team. And then that's when you will select and confirm your options. So just to go through exactly what the curriculum structure might look like. So next year and in year 11, the subjects that you're going to be doing are going to be narrowed. So you're not going to be studying as much as you are at Key Stage 3. So what that's going to look like for you is you're going to have a core curriculum offer. So everyone will do these subjects now. So everyone's going to be studying English language. Everyone will do English literature. Likewise, you'll all do maths. You'll do a combined science, which will give you 2 GCSEs. And then you will have some core P, so that's some practical P that will be timetabled through the week. So everyone will do that core curriculum. And then where the options process is the rest of your timetable will be made up by 3 options that you personally select. Now, one of those options is got to be an EBacc subject. And what we mean by an EBacc subject is it's one of those ones that are on the screen now. So you've either got to select history, geography, French, German, Spanish, or computer science. And then in addition to that, you'll then have 2 more subjects that you can choose from the list there. Now, you'll notice on that second list that there's the same subjects as the EBacc ones, because if you want to do more than one of those, that's absolutely fine. But there's also a really wide range of other subjects on offer. So you can see we've got religious studies, we've got business studies, iMedia, we've got BTEC IT, hospitality and catering, DT engineering, art, 3D design, textiles, drama, music, child development, health and social care, sport, and dance. So there's a lot going on. There's a lot that you can choose from. And that's exactly why we wanted to put together these podcasts for you, so you can really unpick exactly what each of those subjects entails, and you can make that right selection for you. So this is the pathway that I showed you before in terms of what the next month is going to look like. When we're thinking about the podcasts, I said to you that we were going to be doing them a little bit at a time, releasing certain ones bit by bit. And you can see there on your screen now a timetable which just shows you which of those subjects are going to be released on which days. So tomorrow, for example, we're going to put out a history one, so you'll be able to have a look at the history podcast and see if that interests you. On Wednesday, we'll be doing geography. Thursday, we'll be good at doing the MFL, so all the languages. So there's one for French, Spanish, and German, and so on. So this really just timetables exactly what it is that you should expect to see and you should expect to looking at in terms of those podcasts. How we're going to get those podcasts to you is through Teams. So they'll be accessible through there, through this group now that you've logged onto in order to be able to join this assembly, but also as well, we're putting some on our social media. If you have a look at these podcasts, which we're encouraging everyone to do to make sure that it is a really informed choice when you do make your options selections, if you're having a look at the podcasts and you still have some questions, then don't forget that we've got the helpline at beaconhillacademy.org.uk website, so you can email in any questions that you've still got, and we can send them off to subject leaders, and they can get back to you with any questions and give you some extra support if you need it. Now, after that's been done, I spoke about the questionnaire. So after watching all the different subject podcasts, we'll ask you to complete this questionnaire. Like I said to you before, this is not a final selection of options. It's just your initial thought processes. And what we're going to be asking you to do is we're going to be asking you to hand that back into us by Friday, the 12th of February. We'll send it out closer to the time, because obviously we want to make sure that you've seen all those podcasts first. But on the week commencing the 8th of February. We'll send that out to you with another reminder. So just make sure that you're filling that in, because what that does is it informs what options we put in the different blocks. And then what you will see is you will see a block A, a block B, and a block C. But in those blocks will be different subjects. And I'll give you an example of what that's going to look like. So we'll have a form like this. So you can see block A, block B, and block C. Now, ignore the subjects that are in there at the moment. That was done from a previous year, just to give you an example of what it's going to look like. But we will put the different subjects in the different blocks. And then what you will have to do is you will select one option from block A, one from block B, and one from block C. And that will make up your 3 options that you're going to be selected. Now, it's really important that you feel really supported through this process. So obviously today is just really that first step. But after half term, after you've done the questionnaire, after we've put the subjects in different blocks, we will then organise with you some one-to-one meetings where you will then decide your final options. So we want to involve you in the process. We want to involve your parents and carers in the process. We from the school want to be involved in the process so that we've got that joined up thinking and we can really make sure that you've selected the best subjects for you. So it's a really, really good opportunity to have a personalised conversation with a member of the senior leadership team that's going to set you up best for you and your future career or you and your future options moving forward after you've left Beacon Hill. So what I would encourage you to do is when we put the invites out for those, that we're getting everyone participating in that, because it's a really good opportunity for yourself. Now, appreciate that we've given you a lot of information as part of this launch assembly. So I just wanted to break it down in terms of next steps, in terms of what you need to do and what you should be expecting over the next couple of weeks or so. So the first thing is just to make sure that you watch all the podcasts for all the different option subjects that we're offering for you the next academic year. So the timetable that is shared over the next couple of weeks, and make sure you're tuning into those. Look at the options booklet that we'll put on our school website for you. That'll give you a little bit more additional information on all the different qualifications on top of the podcasts. Make sure you speak to your parents and carers and even older siblings at home about the subjects that you might want to pick, and encourage them to attend the virtual parents evening, which is going to be a question and answer session, which we're going to be hosting next Monday. And then finally, make sure that if you do have any questions, don't keep those to yourself. Make sure you email them in, no matter if you think it's a silly question or it's a small question. There is no such thing as a silly question. So if there is something that's on your mind, make sure you email in helpline@beaconhillacademy.org.uk so we can best support you with this process. Now, before I hand over to Mr. Darmy, just to do some questions and answers, he did say that if you have got any questions as part of this, just to keep them in your head. So I'm going to hand over to Mr. Darmy now, but if you want to start typing any questions that you've got from this session into the chat, then want to hand over to Sir, then he can start to answer some of those for you. Thank you very much for your time, and I will hand back over to Mr. Darmy.
Okay, thank you, Miss Lord, for that very informative assembly. So we've got some questions coming in already. So we've got one that says, where can we find the options list? Would it be something so we can see them? Yes, so in answer to your question, Jake, we will be putting an options booklet on our website, and you'll be able to see all of the option choices. And there's about 30 courses in total. So that'll go on our website and you'll be able to see that. We will not be putting the blocks together because the whole point of the questionnaire that you'll do just before the end of this half term is so that we can have we can be informed as to which subjects are more popular, and then we can put those into more option blocks. So actually the option blocks will be very personalised to what you want to do. Some other questions. Do I still do the same timetable for now? Yes, absolutely, Ben. Nothing changes until next September. Okay, so we're going through a process now where you'll receive lots of information and guidance, but it's about getting you thinking about what you would like to do from September onwards. And there's going to be some careers information coming out to year 9s as well. And as Miss Lord said, we're also going to invite your parents to be part of this conversation because it's really important that they're involved too. Brittany says, why did we have to wait to pick our options, but the other years picked at the end of year 8? That's a really good question, Brittany. So as of this year, all schools, or lots of schools, have moved to a 2-year GCSE instead of a 3-year course. So yes, traditionally we used to offer GCSEs over 3 years, but what we're going to be doing is we're going to be increasing the number of hours at Key Stage 4. So it'll be 3 hours in year 10 and 3 hours in year 11 to study your GCSEs. Okay, and it's something that the government have very much encouraged all schools to do. It's what used to happen some time ago. Yeah, again, Owen, I think your question has been answered by what I've just said. When does the leaflet go up? Well, Jake, what we want you to do first of all is go through all the vodcasts individually. So as Miss Lord has said, each vodcast will be released one day at a time. So please watch those, listen to those very carefully. And then as soon as all of the vodcasts have been released, then we'll put the booklet with all the information together. They had an extra year to study, but we lost a year. Well, not quite, Brittany, because you will have additional hours. So instead of studying 4 subjects at Key Stage 4, you will study 3 subjects, which means that you have more time. Therefore, research shows that there's more chance of you getting better grades by studying the subjects over 2 years more intensively than to spread things out over 3 years. I know my current year 11s, for example, sometimes struggle to remember things that they were taught in year 9. So actually having more time in year 10 and 11 is better than to spread them out over 3 years. But again, this is something that the government has very much encouraged us, all schools to do. The first vodcast will be released tomorrow, and as Miss Lord said in her schedule, it will be history and then followed by all the other subjects that you saw on the timetable. Okay, so thank you for all of those questions. Some really good questions there. And as Miss has said, we will be releasing information to you and your parents over the coming weeks. And of course, if you do have any further questions, please do email them to helpline@beaconhillacademy.org.uk. And just to reassure you, when you do the questionnaire just before half term, that does not commit you to the courses. That just gives us information as to how we plot out the option blocks. Okay, if you have any further questions and you would like to stay behind, then of course, please feel free to do so. But otherwise, you are now free to go off and engage in your period 1 lesson. And as I said at the start of the assembly, year 9, I'm immensely proud of everything that you are doing. Well done. Keep up the good work. You're a credit to the school and to your parents. Have a great day, everyone.